Yes. Yes, everybody. Russ, the West Ham Network. Hope you are all safe and well. That's it. Safe and well. If you're around here, give a like, give a comment, give a share, give a subscribe. Sorry, I've just realised I put my camera on the way round, so I'm going to be touching the screen like that. Um, Hope you are all well. Nice to see you. It's Sunday morning, almost 9 o'clock. The last home game of the season, my friends. Oh, breathe it in. Breathe it in. This season is almost over. Hope you're safe and well. Um, if you want a bit more fun today, don't forget to hit the QR code there. This one here, caress the caress it. For our channel sponsors, Bingo, Matchday Bingo, and get yourself some dabbers and dobbers. Get yourself your bingo cards for the game today. So I think it was Mark or someone in the chat that said that they've won a few times. So obviously we won once as well, which obviously we gave to charity. But yeah, and also don't forget the Jared Bowen signed shirt closes tonight, 8 p.m. Check out the community tab on the West Ham Network YouTube channel. We'll probably put a link out on the Twitter. There's a chance to win a Jared Bowen signed shirt. So make sure you check that out, my friends. Yes, we're entertaining Nottingham Forest today. Not Notts Forest, Nottingham Forest. Very important. It's a very important thing. I'm knackered. I tell you what, I did last night. I was DJing at Dom from West Ham Fan TV. His 30th birthday party, and young Nicky Hawkins was quite drunk, and Ryan and his wife and Graham was there, and Big Dave was there, and Dan was there, and it was lovely to see. Lovely to see everyone having a lovely time. But I am knackered, absolutely knackered. Didn't get into about by the time I unpacked the car, about 2 o'clock, and then up for West Ham, get 5 hours later. So absolutely going to be shattered come the end of the game. Oh God! Don't forget they'll be doing the lap of appreciation today as well. And we say goodbye to one of the last players to have ever played at the bowling in Aaron Cresswell. One of the well, it's only Antonio left, and if he's gone in the summer, then there'll be no one left who played at the bowling. Quite That's quite thought provoking, that, isn't it? Quite thought provoking. It is. Anyway, are we there? Yes, it's Glenn indeed. Morning, Green. I hope you're well. Yeah, it's a strange day. End of the season is always strange. Last game of the season because it's been a crap season. It's been a crap season. A couple of highlights, but it's been a really poor season. Arguably one of the poorest seasons I think we've had, bar not being relegated, really, which isn't great. A win out of our next two games means we finish above Spurs and Man United. So that's something, I suppose. And obviously, if we finish above both of them, that's another 6 million quid than there was in the kitty than there was 10 days ago. 10 days ago. So, yeah. And also, I mean, I talk about it in Hammer in starting 11 show a little bit later on. You look at the side that's potentially could play now and the side that will end up finishing or starting next season. I think, and I've been saying for the last at least 3 or 4 seasons, that it being a really like major rebuild. This one is a major. We're getting rid of 4 players or 5 players, including Zuma. 5 players who have about 700, 800 appearances between all of them. So yeah, Grizz, isn't it a tradition for the sun to be shining? It is a bit. It is a bit grey. It is a bit grey. Yeah, usually it's going to be sun. I know. I read and watched some coverage this morning at Goodison Park, and it is nice as well. Mark Pemberton still is leaving Lance. He is. He's just putting his resignation due to personal reasons. I think it's to do with his girlfriend. But I don't know. I'm only speculating, but she wasn't very well, was she? But yeah, he's leaving due to personal reasons, and that's all we should know, I think. Yeah, just been a weird season. The whole thing's been weird. you know, changing manager. I said, it started off weird and it sort of it's ended weird with all the US stuff at the end. It's been a very spitty season. There hasn't been any sense of momentum. There hasn't been any sense of consistency. We've had fits and starts all season. And yeah, very strange. Michael says, how's the weather today? Cold and overcast here in Dagenham. Well, you ain't down the road, is it, mate? You ain't down the road, son. You ain't down the road. Um, good morning. You got the O's next Saturday. The O's? Men got the O's next Saturday. You've got Ipswich next Sunday. It is a bit overcast. I don't think it's going to get much sun here. The sun might come out. But I just, yeah, it's a weird feeling today. It's a weird end of season feeling today. Very strange. I just don't really know. It's a bit like, yeah, it's been weird since Potter took over, really, in terms of, it's almost like sort of this elongated pre-season, and sort of like, you're thinking, okay, you're sort of taking some positive, try and take positives from this bit and this bit. Orient versus Charlton player for wins. I remember going to see Orient versus Scunthorpe United in the playoffs. And I remember that because the Scunthorpe lot were chanting. I think Orient took about 50,000 or something like that in the old Wembley. And all the Scunthorpe lot were singing, you all support West Ham or whatever. And it's like, well, you're playing claret and blue and you're called the Irons, so we should really be supporting you, really. But yeah, I hope the O's. Always had a soft spot for the O's. Used to go there quite a lot because they used to do season tickets for a tenner. And they always used to alternate with West Ham. So when West Ham played at home, Orient were playing away, and vice versa. So, and I was in Loughton at the time, so I just jumped on the central line. And as a youngster, it was great. We're not ready for the championship, but I reckon they can do it, says DJ. Okay, yeah, fair enough. I haven't really disputed Sam. Sammy Perkins is playing with, isn't he? Narky, hope you're well, mate. Let's hope we finish the season on a high. Yeah, I mean, as I said, it's small mercies, small positives, but, a win today sort of guarantees us 15th. If someone said to me, at the beginning of the season, you'll finish the season finishing above Spurs and Man United, I'd be like, oh, yes, please, but I'm finishing 15th. Ricky says, do you see a farewell team from Potter today? I'm treated like a testimonial, go short and play for points. I don't think I think he plays for points. I'll be honest, Ricky. I think for me, there's the fact that we're getting rid of all of them, 5 of them. I'm calling it the ruthless rebuild era. And I think it is a bit ruthless, but I think actually it's the way football is. And I think they'll all get a clap. I don't think he'll bring on like Fabianski. Well, he might do for the last couple of minutes, maybe, depending about the game. But, it's not, I don't think he'll treat it as a testimonial. I think they've got a job to do. They've got some points. I mean, the Forest, they've got a very good side of playing against. Forest are very strong. Obviously, Chris Woods, 20 goals this season. Elanga, 10, you've seen the stat attack just before. Elanga, 10, assists this season. They've got a very good side. And I think any sentimentality could result in being turned over. Do you know what I mean? So I think they'll be treating it. Once the game's finished, then we can do the farewells and do it properly. Then, sure, he might give something like Cresswell 5 minutes or 10 minutes if he doesn't start. He might give Southail. I can see them happening. I can't see him bringing on Fabianski, for example. And people like that. So I think it'll be very much, let's get the game done, let's finish it, then we can do that. I must apologise because I put the camera down the wrong way. A bit harsh giving them the clap. Well, fuck off, they can't they can't give them the clap and fuck them off. So they infect the other teams they go to. No, only joking, Narky. But you know what I mean. Let's go. I think, particularly, I'd say for Cresswell and Fabianski. I mean, particularly Cresswell. Obviously, after Mark Noble, he's had the most amount of Premier League appearances for West Ham. So, the bowling days as well. I mean, Fabianski's been here 7 years, some of that as well. Southail's been here for a few years as well. I saw there was a video. I haven't watched it yet. There was a farewell message from Fabianski, so I'm going to go and watch that in a minute, and probably I probably won't cry that one. The question what I got upset about, just because he's in terms of he has been through it all. He's been from the bowling to here and to the Europe. He's sort of done that. Um, so I get that, and I think it just for me it closes a chapter on that period of West Ham. And now it's like, okay, well, the next chapter is the Potter era. What happened? You know, the ruthless rebuild, I call it, the ruthless rebuild era, not the ruthless aggression era for any wrestling fans, but the ruthless rebuild. That's what it is. It's got to be ruthless. It's got to be. Sentimentality now, unfortunately, in football is not a commodity which is used. You know, who do you think has won the young Hammer of the year? Purely Scars, I think. Purely Scars, you'd imagine. If not Lewis. Obviously, Lewis has had a fantastic PL2 campaign this year. PL2 Player of the Month 3 times, nominated for Player of the Year as well. Made his Premier League debut. I think he's had a fantastic year. What have we got here? Greer says, reports are we're planning talks for new strikers. Just I'll tell you, won't be coming back, or at least I think we will be buying a new striker, but I don't think that will affect what we do with Antonio. I think Antonio, all that's affected is whether he can recover. And we've shown precedents in previous years. Ogbonna had a really bad injury. He was out for almost a season, and they gave him a new contract. So I could see there being, because I think Antonio is still a fantastic asset if he's fit, but if he's fit, if he can play, if he comes back and he can't get, he's just not, then it's not worth. And if it is a new contract, I would assume it's going to be a much reduced wage, maybe some sort of minimum, sort of a smallish weekly wage with it being heavily stacked towards appearances, for example. That would make sense, because I think a fit Antonio, even if off the bench, would make a massive lot of different option. He's very different to a Fulcru. He's very different to a Tati Castellanos, or there's or Yuri Alberto. There's loads of, we've got different options. So I think he'd probably come back as second/third choice, or second choice, probably third choice rather. Mike Potts, even though he weren't here, it doesn't count. Stefan, good morning to you. We'll be happy to draw and play our outgoing players. To be honest, it's that ruthlessness. I think, I sense putting. I know there's nothing to play for, but there sort of is as well, because there's still £6 million to play for. You know what I mean? It's like if we finish 15th rather than 17th, I know it seems by the by, but when every penny counts in terms of the rebuild and PSR and FFP, finishing as high as possible in the league is critical. And a couple of wins, and we may even be able to finish higher than that, based on however other results are. So I think there's the time for the send off is at the end of the game for me, and it's not being harsh. It's like I think someone like Cresswell would not want to be played for sentimental reasons. If Cresswell is preferred then to play on that left hand side of the back three, which I think he still could do a good job for another season, in all honesty, then that's right. If he's played just because it's his last game at the club, I don't think Cresswell as a professional would want to play that game. Same as Sufal. What we've got here? Dean, hope you're well, mate. Stephen, Antonio players who play. Yeah, I agree. Do you mean Orford, young player? Yes, I said Lewis Orford. Yeah. You're Alberto. You're Alberto. Exactly. I was going to say Brazilian, but Brazilian is Portuguese. Needs to keep a couple of old heads, just for continuation of the club morals. Get next gen understanding fan base. I agree to some extent, definitely. I think we already have that in Mark Noble. You've got Mr. West Ham. Mr. West Ham's here. You know what I mean? So that's what surprised me that they were getting involved for. Or again, I keep it's five. Zoom as well. Get rid of all five. Like Ings, I could have seen. I could have seen Sufal. I could have seen May. For me, for Fabianski to go, they must have a plan for goalkeeper for a second choice. If that means maybe bringing up Christian Heggie potentially, um, or Finn Herrick. Okay, let's see. Or if they're looking to bring in an Aaron Randall or someone like that, okay, let's see that early doors. Cresswell, particularly when news that again once leaving, Zuma's not going to be around. You're thinking, what's going on that left hand side? Is it a case where they're going to bring in another centre half they're bringing in, and Kilmer move to the left hand side of that back three? Possibly. But yeah, no, those are the two that surprised me a little bit. Sufal, yeah, I mean, you know, I think Ings, yeah, Zuma, yeah, but those two surprised me because again, I'm inclined to agree. Crest is the one I think we probably should have had next season. Need a win, go as strong as possible. Yeah, and maybe Everton indeed, or Everton will win today. They got Southampton last game of the season for Goodison Park. Quite interesting to listen to all that. It brings up all the emotions of leaving bowling as well. Slightly different as well because the value of property in Liverpool is good. So hence why they're staying there next season. In terms of the women, Chris was one I think we should have kept. He's adapted, looks capable of at least another season. I think in that area, definitely. In your opinion, does Pac-Man start today? It's based in his head, mate. It's not my opinion. This is, for me, if he is not mentally ready, if he's not mentally there, there's no point. There's no point. You don't want to see that, what happened at Spurs, with that sort of outpouring of emotion on the pitch. Doesn't help him as a player. Doesn't help him. So for me, I would, if he says he's 100%, can only go what he says, then I would play him. Particularly as it could be the last time we ever see Lucas Paqueta play, whether it's for West Ham or in football in general. So, yeah, if he's mentally okay, I would. But I think it's his call, really, isn't it? It's uncharted territory in terms of mentally how it would cope. So, I wouldn't want to force him in there if he's not heads in the right place. And that's no slight on Lucas at all, because they're not being funny. My head will be all over the place, same as I think everyone else's. If your career could potentially be over. Wednesday and Spurs, yeah, can't catch him. Totally right, Michael. Don't think our young keepers are ready. I agree. Uh, I think I think I think we need to see what's going to be the plan for them. I think that will come over the summer. Um, and the fact is, Finn's tied down to a long-term contract. Heggie signed a new contract for this season as well. So they obviously see value in that. Um, but it's what they do next. Personally, I could see, unless again, it's like I just don't know what's going to happen. That's the trouble. We don't know the plan, and we won't know the plan. It's not our place to know the plan, isn't it? Really, I mean, we can speculate. Last year, I said this season has gone. They sent Heggie to Motherwell, where he was basically going to be a number two. He wasn't be number one. He was going to be number two, sit on the bench. And for me, it was almost like, well, this is and you knew that, so it wasn't like to get reps. It was almost to like learn how to be a reserve team goalkeeper. That's what it seemed like. So I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back, but then we could, as I said, we've been linked with two or three goalkeepers at least at the moment. So yeah, that's why I just don't think it's going to work. Matty Pollock is, what's happening? Is Adam's choice. Newcastle at last, yeah, they do indeed. So I'm just going for it. They've got Southampton today. They certainly have. Last game at Goodison Park for the men's side. 14th best finishes, Marvel. Can't see losing last game. Yeah, they won't lose today. Southampton, it's a perfect game for them, isn't it? They're weird like Man United. They had Southampton. Fucking hell, done well there. Aren't we after the young Brighton FK? Is that maybe goalkeeper? Is that flipping? I think it'll be tough today. I don't want to say Man United was a flash in the pan. I suspect even a broken clock is right twice a year, twice a day. No, I think again it's like, I mean, to be fair, to be perfectly honest, when we saw that team sheet against Man United, we were like, what the fuck? And actually, go back and watch the live stream just for a kickoff. It'll be totally West Ham to win today. And it was just like, again, it was similar when we beat Arsenal. We beat Arsenal at the Emirates this season. The first side to do that in the Premier League this season. You know, we beat United, a very poor United side, but we've beaten United side. We've done a double over United for the first time since 2006. But it means nothing unless you get decent performance today. Now, we're playing a side who are very, very good. They've dropped off a little bit. They've picked up a little bit. They've got Chris Woods. For me, I think I wouldn't be surprised to see him have a panel start today. We know when they need a bit of physicality, centre backs, which they've done before, and particularly Chris Woods. You want someone to be able to bully with him. And I think Mav's probably more likely to do that than a Kilman and a Todabo, for example. So you never know. Again, I think I've got every. I mean, the 11 I picked for the Man United game, I got completely totally wrong. Fucking putting Guerrero Rodriguez in. You know what I mean? Back-to-back wins. We'll see. Wolves are Palace away on Tuesday. But that Palace away tomorrow is going to be mental, isn't it? Has to be mental with the whole bloody FA Cup. Fair play to them. Still don't like them. We have been linked with every man and his dog once the shirt is on the back. Don't entertain rumours. Michael, that's what we do. We love to entertain rumours. And there'll be plenty more. We're already I think we're at 65 players have been linked to already on my list, which is why I keep the list, to show the ridiculous nature of football transfers and rumours. We can all talk about, but it's like, and I think sometimes we as fans pick and choose the rumours we want to be real about, and that's the really interesting thing. Why is it we've been linked to this guy and we go, that's a shit rumour, but this one, oh no, it's probably even come from the same bloody source. Kieran, good day to you. Don't forget to check out Old School Hammers every Wednesday with Budgie and Kieran. What we've got here? We have back-to-back seasons once this season. A Vladimir penalty, a JWP free kick. It ain't gonna happen, is it? Ain't gonna happen, is it? And obviously he needs that famously. Probably needs that one free kick to equal the record. Last year we were linked with. It was 167 actually, Stephen. So get your facts right. Yeah. and we'll keep that going. That list going, because I find it fascinating. And even I think I wouldn't be surprised if we push almost 200 this year. I really don't, just because we've got so many holes in the squad. You know, already we've got 5 players leaving for sure, which need to be replaced, or whether that's by bringing people in, or whether that's promoting from within. Then on top of that, you got Kudus. Then on top of that, you got Paqueta. Then on top of that, let's be believed, everyone's got a price apart from Wan-Bissaka and Bowen. Everyone else is up for sale. Well, not up for sale. Everyone else is sellable apart from Bowen and Wan-Bissaka. Which, to be perfectly honest, it's probably about right. When you look at how well we've performed or how well we haven't performed this season, I would say the two shining lights have been Bowen and Wan-Bissaka. I think everyone else has been absolute dross. Rusty will racing off the chart. It will be off the scale today. Yes, it will be. It will be. Although you will have a few days without me. You'll have a few days without me as I'll be going on my holidays from Thursday, and I cannot wait. Much to love you guys. Although I actually say that I might do a live stream from the Dubai Hammers. Might do. Greeners expect to see Earthy, Potts, Skiles, Orford maybe out on loan, maybe KCT. I think that's perfect. I can see all that happening. I think it's going to be fascinating to see who. I think, having spoken to people, I think the idea is for Lewis to go out on loan, and because I think I wouldn't be surprised to see a decent championship side going in for him. In all honesty, Earthy's going to see what happens when he comes back, how he integrates. So the issue with Lewis is I haven't checked, but the England under 19 squads will be announced. I think it might already be announced. And there's the Euro under 19s in Romania, and the last game if England gets to the final is June the 27th, and the pre-season I think starts at the beginning of July. So literally, someone like Lewis will have no time to relax, to recuperate before the season starts or pre-season starts. So that's going to be an issue for him, I think, potentially, particularly towards the end of the next season. If he's playing a lot of games, they get out on loan or whatever. Potts, without shadow of doubt, decided you. If you ever want to know the players that West Ham have their sights set on or their aspirations on, look at the players who have signed long-term deals from the academy. George Earthy, actually no, George hasn't yet. Freddie Potts, Ollie Scholes, Lewis Orford, Finn Herrick. The four of them have got have signed major long-term deals. Ollie signed another 4.5-year deal on top of his current deal. Lewis signed a 5-year deal. Freddie signed a 5-year deal, and Finn signed a 5-year deal as well. No long-term deals yet for Casey or George Earthy. I don't think, top of my head. Definitely not Casey. I think he runs out end of next season, if not season after. So I think that just gives you an area of the trajectory of where, and the things change. Players form dips. Casey might become a world beater in the summer. These things change quite regularly. Same as any players. Keith Somerville too. We'll see. Yep. Right, let's go. We need a coat, probably. I'd take a coat. How many players have we signed from Saltman? Quite a few, I reckon. What we got here? Take a coat. Yeah, definitely Cookie. Take a coat. Morning, Ted. Hope you're well. I'm looking forward to giving out half point. You'll be back. When does the new season dates get released? I think it's towards the end of June. I think it is. So yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be fun. Man City away, Liverpool away, Arsenal away. You can just see it happening. Jonathan Burkhardt links talks next week according to a German journal. Jonathan Burkhardt is somebody who's been on our radar for a while, and somewhere who, and one of the key things is he's cheap. He's cheap, like the budgie. He has a lease clause of 20 million euros, by all accounts. So it won't just be West Ham. There'll be several other sides looking at him as a possible. He's had a decent season for Mans this season. Had a decent season last year as well. There's lots of options there. Michael says, whatever happened to Daniel Cummings? I think that is going to be all announced once the end of the season finishes. I know, again, these things, I think you don't tend to announce something like that when the player's still actively playing for the club. Yeah. And he did, you're right, he did score yesterday. What's the name? Katie is saying 2-0 to us today. Come on, you wines. Yeah, it's almost weird to think that you've got a game happening, isn't it? And if you want to get involved in the game, the old QR code, match bingo, get on with that, and get your dabbers and dobbers. They're our channel sponsors, and for the rest of the season, although there's a couple of games left. If you could download the app, if you're in the UK and over 18 area, that would really help us then become channel partners for us next season. That'd be lovely. Thank you. Greener says, looks like looking at the German Scandinavian leagues this season and the Belgian league. The Belgium is a big league for us, the Pro League. They see a lot of value in their rights of Club Bruges and Union St. Galli's and and all these types. There's a lot of really good players there. So I think we're linked with 3 players from Club Bruges itself. Um, so yeah, let's get some Danes in. Because well, yeah, we are linked to a couple of Danish players as well. Um, and I said Scandinavian leagues, Potter is very au fait with because of his time in the Swedish league, Ruthless. So there's lots of options. Scott, aka Puffer, says the main thing is to give the players sending off, give the players leaving. Said, yeah, it's true. Promise David at USG worth a look. I mean, there's loads, Mark. There are so many really good players, and the value of them is reasonable as well. And I think that's the thing is it's not just that they're the right players, but they're actually you could get a return on investment on them. And unfortunately, and I've been saying this a lot, particularly today, and particularly in the last week or so, football's a business. Football's a business, and the issue with football being a business is it's us as fans. We see there's no loyalty in football anymore, and for us it's about making a profit. But bring the right players in. The right players in will create a profit. I mean, look at Tim Sidens. The players brought under his reign have all been, they get sold on. Kudus bought for 36 million quid. Hey, even 40 million. You're doubling your money in Kudus. If Alvarez goes, you imagine 45 million maybe. So you make money on him. Another Panos, probably not. And that is the Brighton model, isn't it, as well? So we talk about this famed Brighton model, but that is you buy players in. I mean, look at that. They bought in under Potter's sort of reign. They bought in Matoma for 3 million quid, and he could be off for if he goes to the Saudi league 90 million. I think they were trying to get. They put a bid in for him. It's really is. It's really quite staggering when you look at some of the players and some of the prices that they've gone for. And hopefully we'll find a few gems. That's what it is. It's about finding those gems, using the stats, using the likes of Maximilian Kahn, using the analysts, using Carl Macaulay's, all their stat stuff, all the things they buy, and seeing what comes along. Michael says Vlad will be around the Hammers for a while. He's boiling to sign forms. Michael. He goes to Leeds. If he goes to somewhere else, he'll end up signing forms for them as well. So, yeah, I just think just because he signed schoolboy forms, means nothing, mate. Means nothing, unfortunately. Employ Vlad to stand on the touchline and start opposing wingers. Sounds good. Sounds a great idea. I'll be sad to see Vlad go. He's going to be one of these players, I think, who will remember, in terms of, there's certain players you sort of not say forget, but players that he was 10 years time. Maybe remember that? He was a player. In the same way that we talk about when we get Sebel, when we get Sebastian Schemmel and stuff like that, you go, he was a player. He was a player. What we got here? I'm leaving soon to get the ground excited. Let's stay above the Spurs and I'll be happy. I mean, but do you remember? In all honesty, that was our season. There were some seasons where, our number one goal was to finish above Spurs. And I remember, I think we finished 7th that season. Didn't Spurs finish 8th? Or, it was definitely, that to us was a season one. A win, a dub, as the kids would say. A dub was going to be beating Spurs, being above them. Obviously, they could turn around and win the Europa League, which is a bit strange. I said about players leaving, but we need an overhaul. It's been on the cards for a while. It certainly has, and as I said, it's called ruthless rebuilding. This ruthless rebuild is exactly what it is in the team. You know, it has to be ruthless. You know, there's a lot of money. You know, I mean, we did the stat. We did. I mean, no, Adam's in the chat. You know, we looked at the numbers and the crunch the numbers, and you know, with the five of them leaving, we're saving something like 350, almost 400 grand a week. You know, across the year, that's about 15 million quid on those players. You know, you're thinking, you know, with some of them, it's like Zuma, and obviously I put into that equation Zuma on about 6. He's on 120 something, but I put 60 in because I'm pretty sure that Alaba will play half his wages. Russ, who takes Cresswell's role as club captain? Is Cresswell club captain? Is he club captain? I don't think he's club captain, is he? I think Souček will have a bit more prominent role. I think he deserves to have a prominent role anyway. Um, and again, it depends who stays. You know, uh, I me, I always like a defender being the captain. For me, I always like the captain. Always like so probably not Kilman because I think he's got the captain. You know, yeah, he captain Wolves, but my he wasn't like Bowen as a captain, sort of the quiet ones. I don't know. Don't know. I just don't know. I don't think anyone really knows. I think and that's the issue. We've got this rebuild, and people are still a bit hesitant in terms of what's happening because no one really knows. You know, to put that statement out last week about those four get leaving, and then there was a further. Well, they didn't have to put a statement out about Zuma, but then there was just something that Zuma also not going to be here. It sort of, for me, that put a stick in the ground. You know, there was no uncertainty. You know, those are going, and you know, we are rebuilding the squad, and that was sort of quite a statement of intent. Um, but yeah, who needs to go and be captain for Everton? Nice bloke. I bet he's going, mate. One of our top goal scorers of all time. Seventh top goal, no, sixth or seventh top goal scorer in the Premier League of all time for us. He's Nigel's going to send me those stats, so I'll take him for those stats. But in terms of the all-time list, he's quite high up as well. Mark says there'll be a minimum of 7 out of door, so that's a lot. Is a lot. But we know it's 5 at least, and then Caduce, the 6, and then I assume Paqueta 7, and that's not really trying. And actually, Cam Swire, his contract comes to an end in the summer as well, so that's 8. Um, and yeah, Michael says Souček. Oh yeah, again, corner. Yeah, good point. Souček is a Marmite to our fan base. The interesting thing about Souček is Souček's one of those players that we look back on in 25 years' time, and we'll look at him based on stats. That's what we do. We look at players based on stats after they've left, and his stats fucking impressive. They're very impressive. Um, 60, no, was it 40, 41 goals, 245 appearances, Hammer of the Year, Conference League winner. He has been an impressive set of, I think he's got 10 goals this season twice in his time here. He is impressive from a stats perspective. And I think he's one of those players who we'll look back on and revere further down the line. Do you know what I mean? Not now, but further down the line. Dead pig in there. Yeah. Get it offered more. 3 out offered, no. 3 out 1, both out the door. I think they could happen. I think we'll see that. I think it will happen. I think, it might be that we cut our losses with Paqueta. I mean, there is talk of Flamengo coming in for him, and on the premise that they can get him during the World Cup Club World Cup. So yeah, seven players in the championship, and then 15 million, nearly 100 million pounds. I mean, I think we'll utilise the loan. I think we'll utilise the loan market, not loan market, free market for sure. But then not too sure about what else. To be honest, it's going to be a struggle. The whole thing's going to be a struggle, and that's why you need to watch the West Ham Network because we'll bring you all the latest news, reviews, opinions, all the stuff, we're bringing to you, all the stuff. But anyway, I'm going to have to go. Take care, everyone. Stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, my friends, and enjoy the game. Enjoy it. Don't forget to give it a like. Don't forget to also become get the app for Match Bingo as well. Much love. See you. Take care, peeps. Bye bye. When I'm good and ready.